Welcome everyone to a wonderful day here at TV 35 where we have our good friend Patsy Baker.
Glad to be here. Thank
It
you.
is such a privilege to have you to be able to share with everything the wonderful things that Keep Dublin at Large Beautiful has been doing.
Thank
We have
you.
worked so hard through the years to make our community beautiful, and it takes a lot of work, doesn't it?
30 years worth.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
still trying, yeah.
And the beautiful gardens that we have, the people that you brought in through the garden clubs, the cleanup days, keep rivers alive, right on down the line. It makes such a tremendous difference. Planting the trees, the seedlings around the holiday when you bring your Christmas tree in, all of that just enhances our beautiful
Thank
community.
you. There's a lot going on. And there's those three areas. There's that beautification component, and then the litter,
Yeah.
and then the recycling component, the environmental green part. So this is the time of the year where it really kicks off. Everything's going.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty year, because I guess because we've had all this rain. Everything's
Rain and
blooming
cooler
and beautiful.
temperatures. It's just a beautiful green this year.
The green's covering the litter. It's really great. Do they cut the grass?
Grow,
I
right,
know.
grow.
Yeah.
Or don't litter, that's a better
Please
idea.
don't litter.
isn't it?
Yeah, please.
People
Yeah.
are so nonchalant about that, it really gets next to you and it gets next to me.
It
and,
get
and
next to
caring
most everybody I
citizens.
talk to. Yeah.
Yeah, so we want to talk about a few different things that we're going to do to make a difference on that issue. But first of all, we want to talk about Earth Day that's coming up, I guess, the 20.
April 22nd. It actually falls on a Sunday, so our event's going to be on a Monday.
Okay.
And this year, our Georgia Power is going to do the project. The volunteer citizens of Georgia Power, and they have a group of their employees and retirees, and they look for projects to do, and they called and asked what they could do for Earth Day. So everybody's kind of thinking Steps Park right now. It needs a little help.
Yeah.
So they have a beautiful new sign down there, and they've done all kind of improvements, but the sign has nothing around it. So they noticed that and asked if they could plant azaleas around the sign. They'll be the kind that bloom spring and fall.
Good.
They're going to buy the plants and plant them, and Friends of Steps Park, the neighborhood there, is going to keep them watered. So it's going to be a really group effort.
Yeah, and there is quite an effort from the community, from the city, from Land Bank Authority to bring that area back to its beauty, because so much has gone into that and so many memories are there for most of us.
Oh, yeah. All the St. Patrick's days of sitting in the grass and listening to the concerts just it was wonderful. And then looking back, Scott Thompson was talking a little about the history, and actually the man that designed Stubbs Park designed the Masters Golf Course.
That's right.
So we should take pride in that. And we're trying to develop a plan where we keep that feel, because a lot of groups want to come in and do something, but everybody has a different idea how they want it to look. So the city's trying their best to keep it to the pine trees, the azaleas, the dogwoods, some basic, instead of a lot of things, keep what we've got, and it needs
Manage it and keep it well. And then the entire neighborhood around it, we look forward to that continuing to revitalize.
And it really
through our
has. There's
efforts,
a lot of
yes.
pride in that neighborhood. They pick up trash, they paint trash cans, they keep a watch out for each other. It's a close-knit little neighborhood.
Yeah.
Luckily, our tourism director lives over that way, so she keeps a handle on it. They've got that little group, Friends of Stubbs Park, and they really do keep on top of that.
I'm so proud of them too, and we want to see that work continue over there. So any way you can support it, like being a part of the Earth Day over at Stubbs Park, and we want to recognize that, being appreciative to what Patsy does and her organization. It takes a lot of work.
It does. If you might like to weed or something, just call the city and ask what you could do at Stubbs Park, and somebody will give you a little job to do.
So again, on our list now, we have Earth Day as actually the 23rd. That's the day to be celebrated here in our community, but it falls on the 22nd. You'll see that all over nationally, but making a difference with our earth, taking care of the earth and the community around you, okay? So, and then from there, about the 28th is what, Great America?
Well, that's the Great American Cleanup, and that's a kind of a big version of Earth Day. There are 620 affiliates for Keep America Beautiful across the nation. So that's kind of their signature event on that during March, April, and May. Each community will pick projects to do and get volunteers involved. And in Dublin, they picked litters, really hitting home. Everybody is disgusted with the litter. So for the past about 10 years, Jerry Davis's group, Oconee High School
Yeah.
National Alumni Association, has kind of spearheaded this neighborhood challenge where 8 to 10 neighborhoods sign up. They're still signing up, but that's usually about what it falls to. And they take a before and after picture of the ugliest spot in their neighborhood, and then they set to work on that Saturday and they do something about it. And then they take an after picture and come back for lunch, and judges look at the before and after for each group, and there's a first, second, and third place winner.
How wonderful.
And lunch is provided by local grocery stores and a lot of the seed stores, and they provide plants and flowers. And so it's really a great day, and we hope that, and it seems to have worked. The neighborhoods that are involved in this don't go back to where they were. And during the year, a lot of them have come by and asked, they borrow. At Keep Dublin Orange Beautiful, we have a litter grabber program. If you'd like to borrow the litter grabbers, you can check them out. But not everybody knows that, and they should. But because a lot of people don't bring them back, but we have to charge for that. But these groups, 3 or 4 of them had quarterly pickups in their neighborhood.
How wonderful.
And that kind of led to the realizing that we have a scrap tire problem in Lawrence County, Dublin and Lawrence County. But the city of Dublin applied for a grant to be able to dispose of all your scrap tires in one day at no charge down here at Truxton Street at the Public Works area on May 5th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's no businesses can come, though. They'll check your license and your utility bill to make sure you're not trying to dispose of what you should be doing within your business. But a lot of people have tires that don't want them in their yard, so they throw them in somebody else's yard or on a vacant spot usually.
And you see that. That's such a tragedy when you come along and you look down a lane or a little dirt, untraveled area of our city or either county, and you see those tires stacked up.
Yeah.
It's a shame. So we have amnesty. You can go get those tires. You can bring them, or
Up
you
to
can,
8. Up to 8. But really, actually, you can put 1 or 2 tires by the curb anytime. You don't have to throw them in illegal dumps. And in collection centers, you can take up to 4 if you live in the county. So there's really no excuse for it. But,
it's unsightly.
It's unsightly, and they breed mosquitoes as the health department's rules. The water catches in there, and then they're just a natural breeding ground for mosquitoes. So this is a great time if you want to clean up your yard, clean up your neighbor's yard.
Mosquitoes are on the way.
They are. That's what's great about the Great American Cleanup. It doesn't have to be just your yard. If there's an elderly person or somebody in that neighborhood, on that day they'll go in and trim the shrubbery and rake and clean up for them.
And usually around 10 solid areas of our town, 10 neighborhoods.
10 neighborhoods, we'll get in there and get a project within their neighborhood.
How wonderful.
So anybody that would like to can call Keep Dublin Orange Beautiful. It's not too late. And because we're doing it March, April, and May, you don't have to be part of the neighborhood challenge. You can do your own. We have a couple of times they have a block party where there's somebody in your neighborhood that's not quite doing right, but you don't want to call them out. You don't want to make enemies. So we can make up a little flyer and say, we're going to have a block party. Let's all clean up our yards together.
Is that the way to do it,
Yeah,
Patsy?
and then you come back and you have an ice cream supper together, and everybody's happy, and everybody's yard's clean without pointing fingers at each other. So I can help with that if anybody would like to have a block party.
All right,
It'd be
you can
good.
help with that encouragement, can't you?
Encouragement, and provide the litter pickups, the bags, and the gloves.
Yeah. Good. How wonderful of a job you do, Patsy,
Well,
in encouraging all of us, because we all need that.
We do, and the volunteers encourage me. That's what's great about the program. It's so many people are interested in wanting to do, not just talk. They want to know, what can I do? So we try to find something for anybody that calls and says they want to do something. Find somewhere they can help. The Adopt a Street's a new thing to help with that.
I love it.
I love it too. We had Adopt a Highway years and years ago, and it kind of went by the wayside. That was a state program. This was Sean Wood is our new public works director, and he hates litter, which is great. and the sanitation department, Frankie Coney's doing this tire thing, but he's also helping with the cleanup days and all. So he's going to kick it off probably within the next couple of weeks. Adopt a Street, but we're going to call it Adopt Dublin, which means if there's any place that you don't something bothers you, go
Yeah.
ahead and adopt it. And you go out, you have to do the 4 times a year to do a cleanup. That's the only requirement. And call the city and tell them to pick up the bags.
Okay.
But if you don't have a spot, we can find you
find you a
something to
spot,
do.
huh?
Find you a spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just, the recycling is picked up. People, I hope maybe it's the children learning. It seems like all the schools, we go into the schools and educate, but the teachers really have a component. Usually they educate the students on litter and recycling, and they seem to be getting it because, you get a child that'll stop you if you have a can in your hand and want to drop it in the trash can. Most children will stop you right there and say, you need to recycle that. So
That's right. That's right. So the educational process is working.
I think so. Sometimes when I look at the litter, I think, well, maybe not, but
Well, you have irresponsible people, and it seems like they'll just drop litter wherever it may be, out their window or wherever going along. And we'll always have people that don't care, Patsy. We know that.
I know.
But there are more that will
That
care,
do
and there are
care.
people that will say, I'm going to adopt my road, my highway, my area of town, or an area that really bothers you, and take those 4 times or more per year.
And there's a new component to that program is Teen Challenge is going to do the labor for a donation for, like, if you're elderly or you just your street, you want it adopted, but you can't get out there. You can adopt it and then let Teen Challenge do it for you 4 times a year for a fee. We think it's going to be like $50 a time,
Yeah.
but they're going to be learning and making money from that to help their cause and helping our cause.
Providing that manpower.
So-
If you can't and you want to make a difference, then you get in touch with Patsy. She'll help you with
A
that.
bank
right?
or, an industry, anybody that just wants to make sure their area is clean and beautiful, that's a way you can go. If you can't get out there and physically do it, you can
Yeah.
contribute.
There you go. And we should all be contributing to our area where we live and other areas that we
Yeah.
see needs a little more attention.
And a lot of times it's not intentional, that litter, well, surely these people know, but maybe not. You're driving down the road to a collection center or, or those people that pile up the back of a pickup truck with trash bags and head out. Disposing of the trash, supposedly doing the right thing, but now what were you thinking? It's one of those things, when you
Leaving
get
a
there and your
trail.
truck's empty, what do you think
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
But and that's really seems to be the county's biggest problem. So we're going to work on ways to enforce. It is a state law that you can't travel over a roadway with unsecured loads.
That's right.
So they need to. We need to start enforcing that.
And so there is a push right now for that to be enforced. So if you're doing that, then secure what you have. Put a tarp over it or what have you.
And put a cement
Keep
block
that-
on the
keep
bag,
that-
something.
yeah,
Just
keep that trash down so that it doesn't blow out and
If it does, you get there and you see your trash is not in the truck, go back and get it. Because the law, they can go through your trash legally. And one incident I remember, we went through the trash and the person had left all their hospital discharge papers right on top. So that was just, all you had to do is call and the sheriff,
yeah.
get them right back out there and have to pick it up.
And that's embarrassing for everyone. Just
just
do
don't
your
do it.
part to be orderly, to be neat, to be clean.
Good neighbor, yeah.
Just be a good neighbor. So we don't want to forget, coming up 22nd nationally, and then 23rd will be the Earth Day, which will be taking place in Stubbs Park. And you do your part around the community. You find a unique way to have Earth Day for you, your family, your friends. If you have young children, make it an event so you make an impact on them and going forward.
Yeah, make
in
it
our
fun. Have a
community.
party with it,
Have a
Celebrate
party.
afterwards.
That's
Have a
great.
hot dog supper and just have a good time, get to know each other. It's a nice way.
Yeah, yep. Then the Great American Cleanup coming up 28.
That's, the challenge. Now, the Great American Cleanup is actually March, April, and May, so if you want to do your own
Okay.
project, you can custom design one, but if you want to get your neighbors involved and find an area in your neighborhood that's unsightly, take a picture of it, and then on the 28th, we'll call Keep Dublin and Lawrence Beautiful and sign up, and then we'll get together in the morning and give out the tools, and then your group clean up and then show them the after picture, and then the judges will decide, whether you've
That's right.
first, second,
So
or
be a
third
part.
place.
The competition is on, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen. And then, of course, amnesty for tire. that'll be coming up. And that's really important. We want to see you turn out for that. The city has gotten this grant. City of Dublin has this grant. So you bring, what is it for?
8 tires.
Up to 8 tires that you'll be able to bring.
On
And
Truxton Street.
On Truxton Street.
Is that called the Public Works? I think it is. When you
is.
go across the
Yes.
railroad tracks into the Public Works area, and between 92 and bring your license or utility bill. The city's sending out a notice to all city residents in your utility bills probably next week. So everybody will get a reminder.
Yeah.
And I left out the visual survey. That's something we do to stay certified as a Keep America Beautiful system. Next month we'll be going one end of 441 to the other, and counting litter and marking places that need improvement. You're supposed to stick to the same street every year and see if you make an improvement. About 3 years ago, we changed it to 441. It used to be 80 and some other roads, but we've all decided that 441 is actually our biggest gateway. I mean, at the interstate that way, and then out by the junior high.
Yes.
People call constantly about 441 North being so bad. So we're just going to do a little survey and then target. We did that a couple of years ago, and that's the sign ordinance. Was kind of redone after that because we realized there were so many rusted old broken down signs and push signs that just made it a cluttered. It wasn't really litter, it was visual litter, So those are the kind of things we'll look at and try to work with the owners in the city and areas that need help. But we do have a lot of industries here now, and thank goodness they're here, but we want others to come, and they won't want to come to a city that looks like a trash barrel. So we'll try to keep it clean and show we have some pride.
That's right. Thank you so much for preaching that sermon today and for continuing to encourage us and let us know what we need to be doing. We need to be reminded. Everyone does need to be reminded
We do.
as to our responsibilities. And sometimes we get a little, waylaid on things. Something can be in place and you don't see it after a day or two. Well, you need to pay attention to your surroundings there. If you need any help, need any advice, Patsy will be glad to give you that advice. Right?
And we have a board of 15 concerned citizens that help too. So that give it to one of them. If I can't do it, somebody will come up with some idea. We can work together. We do have a really working board. They don't just come to the meetings. They get out and work at our projects, and I appreciate all of them.
Yeah, we appreciate you again. And put these events on your calendar. Be a part and help Patsy and help all of us keep Dublin and Lawrence beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.